Hi, my name is Skylar Stasney, and welcome to Curiosities of Copshaholm. Today is a special episode because we are honoring the 125th anniversary of the Oliver family moving into their home. So before they actually moved into Copshaholm, JD and Anna lived in Oliver Row, which used to be located on Main Street. So the Olivers built several different row houses, and JD and Anna lived in number 1 Oliver Row. They lived there with all 4 of their children, James II, Gertrude, Joseph Jr., and Catherine, before they decided that that was too small of a space for 6 people and decided that they needed a bigger home for their family. There were many industrialists that lived along West Washington and West Colfax because this area was one of the main ways to get into town. So there were a lot of other industrialists that built along this space, including the Studebaker family. And before Copshaholm was built, all the land that it is on belonged to other people. So there were other houses here, but they didn't destroy those houses, they just moved them to different locations. And so when deciding who they wanted to design Copshaholm, JD and Anna actually went to New York and drove around to look at a lot of different homes and found out that all the styles that they liked were all done by the same person, Charles Alonzo Rich, who had an architecture firm called Lamb and Rich. And so he designed Copshaholm, and JD was actually very involved with designing the home. He had very particular tastes and wanted to make sure that he got exactly what he wanted. So there's a lot of different correspondences, letters between JD and Mr. Rich to decide on the different elements of the home. JD worked with each company that he hired himself. So there was Lamb and Rich, and then another company, Western Electric, which helped to install the security system that was part of the home. And so there are many, many letters going back and forth between JD and all of the different companies that he worked with. So that way he got the exact specifications that he wanted, different design elements, things like that. And not only was JD super involved in the design and building of his home, his father James was also heavily involved. So the house is made of Indiana fieldstone, and James and JD worked with different farmers in the area, sometimes almost 30-40 miles away, to find all the stones to be cut for the house. So James would actually go to all of these farms himself, and once he decided that the stone was good to be used for the house, he would hire different teams of horses and drillers to come out and dig up the stone and have it cut for the house. So it was a very detailed, very specific process in building the home and the carriage house. Just before moving into the house, JD and Anna celebrated their 12th wedding anniversary. JD was 46 and Anna was 34 when they moved in. James II was 11, Gertrude was 8, Joseph Jr. was 4, and Catherine was only 9 months old. The mansion was built to be a family home. It wasn't meant to be a place where the Olivers would entertain very often, so it wasn't designed the same way as other mansions such as Tippecanoe Place. The main hall is actually a very striking first impression, and it also has a lot of the design elements that were used throughout the rest of the home. And with the main hall, the interior of the house was just as important to JD and Anna as the exterior. So they had a lot of say in what pieces they wanted in their home and had an interior decorator that they hired to help them pick out all the pieces that would go together. And the main hall actually reflects a lot of Anna's style, which is what we see when you first walk into the home. But since there were people living here up until 1972, as you go through the rest of the house, you actually get to see how all of those things have changed since the Olivers first moved in. And you get to see a reflection of how the house has evolved over time. Thank you for watching today. Keep an eye out for this logo as we celebrate the 125th anniversary of the mansion all year long.